Welcome back! A whole year after my last video, and I'm back with a couple short form reviews on everything I watched in December. And by a couple, I mean 25, because I watched a lot of films in December, so let me get into this before you click away from this video. Perhaps it's too soon to say, but I think the standard for horror has definitely increased within the past couple of years. I think that going into the 2020s, we will see more horror with substance rather than just the intention of being scary. This is what I feel like we got from Smile. And I know some people didn't enjoy this film and may not even enjoy this new trend of horror films. I've seen some people call stuff like this pretentious without actually having the quality to cater to that audience, and honestly, I do see that point. But I really enjoy this type of thing, and I will be really happy to see more of it. I think Smile works perfectly with this idea. It caters perfectly to people who want to see something scary and might enjoy some jump scares, and to people like me who want to see horror incorporated into an interesting story. This film fits so many cheap horror tropes into its story, but they don't feel stupid and are actually effective. It also really does look great. Smile surprised me a lot. 2022 was a great year for horror, and this film is not an exception. I don't have much to say about this film, so much so that I didn't even write a Letterboxd review, which is really unlike me. But as a certified rom-com hater, I'll say this one holds up. My friend and I were talking this film up to our other friend who wasn't interested in watching it, and I hoped the entire time we were talking that I would enjoy this as much as I claimed I did years ago. And yeah, I do. This film is fun, and it's cute and enjoyable, and it's 13 going on 30. What else can I say? I would recommend Boiling Point to anyone who previously or currently works in a restaurant because, damn, this is real. This film perfectly encapsulates the chaotic energy of working in a restaurant, shitty patrons, beef between the front of house and back of house, terrible workers, disrespect, all while also delving into the life of the chef and what is happening behind the scenes. I really appreciate the natural way that this is all introduced in the film. It's not exposition, but rather what is currently happening and gives insight into this character's background. I think I saw someone call this the whiplash of food service, and I completely agree. This film is great. Go check it out if you have the chance. I sat this one out on its theatrical release, and honestly, I wish I hadn't. I think I might have enjoyed this just a tiny bit more if I saw it in a relatively empty theater with an old man loudly laughing at something remotely funny rows away from me. The true theater experience Nicole Kidman intended. Anyway, Bullet Train is fun. It's not something that appeals to me, but I definitely didn't have a bad time watching. I really enjoyed the shenanigans between these two characters, as well as the overall environment of being on the bullet train. I do think this drug on for far a bit longer than it needed to, which is funny because the conclusion of the entire film felt so rushed and kind of stupid. I don't know, Bullet Train is not for me, but it's completely inoffensive and fun, and I'm sure Brad Pitt fans will enjoy it. I have had Cat People on my watch list for the longest time without knowing if I would even enjoy it, or what to expect. I find myself less motivated to explore older cinema because I am so completely not confident in my ability to get this era of film. Based on my movie watching experiences, I find older films a lot harder to analyze, or I struggle to find something to say about them other than whether I liked them or not. But Cat People is really great. This film is so unlike what I expected. It is so carefully made and really understands what it is trying to say about femininity and freedom. Despite what it is labeled as, Cat People is not a horror. If you're someone who likes analyzing media, especially old media, and applying it to modern principles and culture, I would check this one out. It also looks great, which is something I don't think I've ever said about a film made before 1975. I watched Batman Begins earlier in the year and finally finished Nolan's Batman trilogy after all this time, and spoiler alert, The Dark Knight is by far the best. I'm not one that typically cares about Batman, or superheroes in general, But this trilogy is so great, especially this film. Heath Ledger absolutely steals the show here with the best Joker performance ever. Sometimes I find it hard to care about all the characters in a superhero film, because most of the time, given that in less good films, many characters are used as plot devices, but in this film, specifically, I actually cared about everyone, and was super interested in where the story was going and what would happen to the characters. I have to give extra praise to a film that makes me enjoy or care about something that I usually don't. So, praises to Christopher Nolan, this is the best Batman movie. This kind of thing is not made for me, and I totally get that. I completely acknowledge that me not liking this film is a me issue, and the way I go about consuming media. Not to say that Superbad is a masterpiece, and I'm just, too different to get it or anything, but this is clearly not made for me, and I'm glad the people that love it, you know? I found that the split narrative of this film is really what didn't work for me. All the shit that Fogel was doing the police officers was really great and so much funnier and more interesting than what Jonah Hill's horrible ass character was doing, and all the bullshit that he was pulling that ended up fucking over Emma Stone and Michael Cera's characters. How the fuck did this man succeed in the end? That is irritating. Every time someone asks me what my favorite horror film is after finding out I love horror, Black Christmas pops into my head. I cannot get enough of this film. It is just about perfect to me. Perfect suspense and tension created by the point of view of the killer. The ending sequence is so genuinely scary. I also enjoy the natural way every character is introduced and how we learn about them throughout the course of this film. In relation to what I said earlier about horror becoming more and more sophisticated, I do think that this fits that narrative, despite being one of the oldest horror films I have seen, which is probably why I like it so much. It's one of those films that has something to say rather than just be a horror movie. And to that I'll say I will not spoil anything about this movie if you've never seen it, but it is a great film that I really love what it's saying and I love what it's doing, and it is my favorite horror movie to watch around Christmas time. Not that there's that many to watch. Not to completely discount every praise I previously stated for this trilogy, but The Dark Knight Rises is definitely the weakest out of the three films. I find that this one falls into more superhero movie tropes than the other two, and in general I found it a lot harder to care about what was happening in this film. There's not enough Batman here, and I also don't think the ending to the story, not the ending of the film, but the story, I don't think it was as impactful as anything that happened in The Dark Knight. If I was a funnier person, I would have written a bit about using this as bait for the Oscars to give this movie Best Picture because it is my personal pick. You know, when it inevitably gets nominated for Best Picture. I think this film is just so excellent, featuring some of my favorite performances of the year. Banshees looks great, sounds great, and is perfectly funny and heart-wrenching at the same time. If I'm gonna rewatch any films before the Oscars ceremony, it's going to be this one. I don't want to say too much about this movie if you haven't seen it, so go watch it. Well, wait, finish the video, please. I'm working really hard on it. And then go watch Banshees. Warning, warning, review that is completely clouded by nostalgia incoming. No, really though, I do think Enchanted is a great film. Despite the fact that I can probably recite the entire script from memory, I think the most interesting part of this film is just how simply great it is. It doesn't need to be anything big, but succeeds so well with every aspect of simplicity. And if you're thinking, Shannon, why are you calling Enchanted simple? Well, stay tuned for my next review, for the least simple movie. Anyway, Disney could never have made this today, because if they did, it would be dog shit. And they did, it was dog shit. The songs were great, the characters are fun, I love the fish out of water trope, and seeing it with multiple characters in this film is so much fun. The costumes are great, come on, this is such a sleigh, Disney would never put this out now. The ending is so cute, I love this montage here, And I don't even know why I'm still talking about this film. Everyone has seen this movie and it's great, and everyone must agree because I'm right, it is great. I really can't understand why there is such a significant amount of people who loved this film, and also the first one. Like, not to be mean or anything, but this is a complete disgrace to everything the source material set up. The only two praises I will give this film is in casting a girl that definitely looks like Morgan grown up, and this song about who is badder that admittedly goes hard. Okay, real shit though. Shannon, why are you critiquing a kids movie so hard? It's for kids. It doesn't matter. The first movie is for kids and it's fucking great. So why does this one need to be so stupid? One of the glaring issues for me personally within this film is the dog shit music. Enchanted has 3 songs sung within the film, and all 3 are bangers. This film has way too many, and it doesn't seem to understand what made the songs in the previous film good. This movie has characters singing emotional ballads, the kind of song that stops the plot in its tracks so that the characters can reiterate to the audience how they feel. The original didn't do that. I wonder why. Maybe because princesses in a storybook don't take up multiple pages of the book talking about how they feel. I can't believe this is the longest review I've written so far. This movie is so ass. This story is completely stupid, and I don't understand what they were trying to do. Having Giselle turn herself into an evil villain is a fine idea on its own if they didn't already establish Maya Rudolph's character as evil as well. It seems like they just wrote her in so that they had something for Giselle to do while the other characters were busy solving that main conflict. And by other characters, I mean Morgan. Because what the actual fuck was Patrick Dempsey doing the entire time? Like, what did they do to this man? Okay, enough about this movie. I'm done talking about it. It's ass. Don't watch it. Go watch Enchanted because it's actually good. It's a Christmas movie, and you can tell it's a Christmas movie because there are Christmas lights. Eyes Wide Shut is a trip. This is one of those movies I don't have much to say about, given that I don't think I know what I was supposed to take from this, or what even happened by the end. But I had fun watching, and I really enjoyed the simple piano score throughout. I think everyone has already said everything that can possibly be said about this film, positive and negative. I enjoyed it a lot, actually, but I completely understand why people don't. I'll talk more about my feelings on the franchise when I get to Way of Water, but yeah, I really liked Avatar. This shit's good. It took me so long to finally see this, and I love it. I have such a soft spot for stories that depict modern teens, especially accurately, and this one totally does, in my opinion. The stupid rivalry between teen girls, secrets, drama, all while everyone's trying not to die, this is absolutely my cup of tea. I love the use of practical lighting here. It totally solidified this as a horror film rather than just a teen drama. And of course, Rachel Sennett absolutely stole the show. She is so great, and I can't wait to see her in more. I had a ton of fun with this movie. Definitely check it out if you like teen slashers and you haven't seen it yet. This definitely seems like something I will revisit just as a casual watch. Robert Eggers has done it again, and by it, I mean whoa, holy shit, this is a movie. This is obviously Eggers' biggest film yet, and he definitely went big. This film is huge, and I loved everything about it. My favorite aspect of this movie was the physical representation of spirituality and how it led us to understand the motives of the characters and their beliefs in this world. I really loved how morally ambiguous the characters are as well. It is completely up to interpretation of what we have been shown in the film, and I had so much fun with that aspect. I can't wait to see what Eggers does next. This film has really impressed me. I tried to watch a couple Christmas movies, but I swear, I just kept getting flashbacks to the shit I had to have burned into my retinas for a video that nobody watched last year. Anyway, the Polar Express. Fun, inoffensive, good music. Definitely looks like a video game cutscene the entire time. Maybe some things could have been expedited if I just pressed X on my controller. I think this movie is not good. Can we please have a higher standard for Christmas movies? This movie is for the type of person who only watches movies around Christmas time, and this is the one they watch, so this is what they think a good movie is. Nothing about this film is enjoyable. It essentially has no plot. The dad is like absolutely terrifying, so what the hell is that? Please pick better movies to watch around Christmas time.
Cha-cha, real smooth.
This movie is so coming of age, it made me wonder why I ever considered films about 16-year-olds to be coming of age. I haven't seen Cooper Raif's previous work, but I'm interested to check it out now because this was so great. I enjoyed seeing every character on screen, and I love how much life is given to everyone. The story also really resonates with me, as it's just one of those stories I feel can be revisited at different points in someone's life, and they can take something new from it. I really love Cha Cha Real Smooth, and I hope it gets some attention at the Oscars this year. You know when you watch a film and the credits start rolling and you think, damn. That's what this movie did for me. I would like to watch more indie horror this year, especially after seeing this one, because I think small films like this do so many good things for the genre. This film is extremely creative and unsettling and, real. I really loved where this ended up, and it's definitely something people who grew up online or use the internet as a form of escapism and anonymity would really enjoy. The music is done by Alex G, and it has such a good understanding of the internet and its users on such a tiny scale that this is the internet's movie, and I really loved it. I think the general consensus on The Way of Water is if you didn't like Avatar, you won't like this one, and I think that's fine. I don't think this film is trying to change anyone's mind on the franchise, but rather just give us fans, yeah, I consider myself a fan, more of these characters in the world. Obviously, this film looks great, the underwater landscapes are super cool and incorporated so well into the story, it was really enjoyable to watch. The climax had me just as captivated as the original, and I enjoyed most of the new characters. I'm really excited to see what the Avatar franchise ends up doing in the future. There's a lot that can be explored, and I will be seated for the next film. If there's one movie out of all movies that I think every single person needs to watch, it's Knives Out. The perfect modern whodunit with such a fun cast of characters, great actors, and a satisfying story. I don't think I need to say much more. If you haven't seen Knives Out, literally what the hell are you doing? Yo, snooze fest alert! If you were thinking about watching this because you know it might get some recognition at the Oscars because the Academy likes to nominate shit movies sometimes, don't. It's boring and not worth it. A crazy amount of good actors are in this film, yet none of them were particularly good. The editing is so terrible. It seems like there was an attempt to have creative choices, but they didn't make any sense and they didn't work. So many times throughout this movie, the characters spoke directly to the camera as though the people they were speaking to are the camera. And this could be done well and look good, but instead it's really inconsistent and confusing, and I really hated it. This movie is so lame, but knowing the Academy, I'm assuming it's going to get some recognition, and I am not excited to see it. This is my dad's favorite movie ever, and I was kind of concerned going into it because my dad has pretty shit taste in movies. Sorry, Dad. But no, this is totally fine and fun. It's one of those films where everything that could possibly go wrong does, and is actually genuinely funny at times. The camera work for this film is also pretty good. It's definitely got that 80s high school comedy feel, so if you're into that, check this out maybe, it's pretty cool. I rounded out the year with Noah Baumbach's latest, and honestly, I really enjoyed it. I don't think it hits as hard as Marriage Story or is as cohesive as Frances Ha, but I was totally interested in everything in this film. And this was a really good film to end the year on. I've got a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to for this year, so bring it on 2023. This is going to be a good film year. I can feel it. Thank you so much for sticking around to hear my dumb little opinions. If you like them, maybe subscribe so I can make more of these, and tell more people my dumb little opinions, so you guys are forced to hear a lot of dumb little opinions from just little old me telling you my dumb little opinions. Anyways, if you want more dumb little opinions from me, you can follow me on Letterboxd. I watch a shit ton of movies, and I'm always active on there. Thank you so much for watching. It means a lot.